A seat. All right, friends, so this is going to be a good conversation. We all know that we have software code that runs us, the genome, and if we could harness this information, we might be able to do some amazing things. We're going to learn today on how we can take advantage of this information.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bryan. How are we doing in San Francisco? Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Good morning. I want to hear some energy. Get the energy back up before lunch. Thank you. I'll take this. Awesome. My name is Kian Sadeghi. I'm the founder and CEO of Nucleus Genomics, the complete genetic health test. I'm here today for the same reason you are. I'm going to beat death and live forever. Come on, SF, come on. Now, how am I actually going to do that? Well, the first step is to go back to the foundation of my health, the foundation of my longevity, my source code, my DNA. In the last couple years, genetic testing technology has improved so rapidly that it is now possible to be able to predict how you are going to die from just your DNA. Now, some people tell me, Kian, I don't want to know how I'm going to die. Well, if you are one of those people, Nucleus is not for you. We believe knowledge is power, and that by harnessing the insights hidden in your DNA, we can make every disease a preventable disease. We can, as we like to say at Nucleus, predict to prevent. Now, we're really good today at measuring the current state of our health. For example, who here has done a blood test, has a Whoop, an Aura? Put your hands up. Okay, that looks like almost 100% of you or so are currently tracking the current state of their body. But here's the thing. When we think about longevity, it is fundamentally not about today, but about tomorrow. Let's take a look at this. There's about 1,000 of you right now at this conference. 200 of you will die of heart disease. 200 of you will die of cancer. 40 of you will die of Alzheimer's. 30 of you will die of type 2 diabetes. The rest of you will die of a mix of the top killers, many of which are other diseases: asthma, kidney disease, liver disease, and various other conditions. We have to ask ourselves, how can we stop this from happening? Well, there's good news, actually. Even though each and every single one of these conditions are the top killers in the United States today, they're also all genetic, which means we can predict them before they happen. Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, cancers, heart disease, all at least 50% caused by your DNA. How can we expect to live forever? How can we expect not to get disease if we don't even know what we're at risk for? For me, this is personal. In 2007, my uncle, pictured here, and my dad went to play soccer on a normal Saturday. Unfortunately, while playing, my uncle suddenly collapsed. My dad, being a physician, ran over to help save him, but he was too late. Later that day, my uncle was declared dead in a hospital from a heart attack. I was just 7 years old at the time, and it was devastating. I walked down into my living room and had to climb over my extended family, all sleeping in sleeping bags, because that night they had came to visit our home to mourn the death of my uncle. I was frustrated and confused. How is it possible, I wondered? Other 40-year-olds of comparable health were alive and well, but my uncle was dead. And I grew even more frustrated when people would tell me, Kian, eat well, make sure you exercise. I thought to myself, tell that to my uncle. So, 17 years later, recently, we gave a family member of mine a genetic test. Now, I don't want to say who it was to protect their confidentiality, but I do want to say what we found. Turns out they were in the 99th percentile for their genetic risk of coronary artery disease or heart disease. Think about it like this. They're young, healthy, vibrant, full of life, and yet in the 99th percentile for their genetic risk for heart disease. What's even crazier is we trace back this risk to my uncle. Just imagine now if we had given my uncle a genetic test. We could have predicted from the day he was born, the day he came out of the womb, we could have predicted how he was going to die. And in doing that prediction, we could have gauged his risk and actually prevented his heart attack altogether. So now, that is why when someone says to me, Kian, I don't want to know how I'm going to die, I tell them it's actually not knowing that's what's going to kill you, not knowing. It's also why the title of this talk is Survival of the Curious, because it is those who are curious enough to go back to the foundational layer, their source code, their DNA, that are going to live and thrive the longest. Now, my family member does not need to find out their risk for heart disease 20 years from now when they get a blood test and they have super high cholesterol. They know their risk today when their life optimizations matter the most. That is the power of knowing your whole genome. In fact, my family member can reduce their risk for heart disease by now up to 80%. DNA is the foundation of all optimization. Without it, you are flying blind in your life. With it, you can optimize every aspect of your life. Your macronutrients. You can do earlier, more aggressive, more targeted screening and other health interventions. You can take specific drugs based off your genetic composition. You can even track specific metabolites that you know are critical given your genetic disposition. Now, with Nucleus, my family member does not need to have the same fate as my uncle. Come on, that's amazing. Hear up to technology, come on. That's amazing. A swab can save your life. What's so interesting is this doesn't just apply to heart disease. It actually applies to every common disease I've mentioned so far in the talk, and many others I haven't. In fact, many people don't know this. There are around 100 clinically validated genes where each one is known to cause a specific common disease, and in some cases rare diseases, and each one has clear evidence-based guidelines to actually prevent the condition altogether. So when people ask me, we have a booth back there, people ask me, Kian, what can I do? Genetics is inherently actionable. It is the foundation of your entirety of your healthcare and lifestyle. That is the power of your DNA. So, you might be thinking to yourself, well, this guy's talking a lot about diseases, but how about longevity? Diseases and longevity are on opposite sides of the same coin. When scientists investigate the genetic basis of longevity, they find the same diseases associated with extreme longevity are also associated with disease. That should be no surprise, right? If you don't get disease, you live healthy, you live longer. These are going hand in hand, they make sense. Today, I'm very, very happy to say, at Nucleus, we've scoured the literature for all known associations with longevity, which of course, many of which are associated with disease. And today, at Don't Die San Francisco, we're excited to announce the launch of Nucleus Longevity. We can now use your DNA to predict your lifespan and your risk for every common disease you'll likely die of. Come on, San Francisco, so let me hear it! What an exciting time. I think to myself about this movement that I don't want us to be remembered in the 21st century. I want us to be remembered in the 22nd century, in the 23rd century, in the 24th century, the 25th century. That is my ambition. And so, around 200 years ago, Darwin coined the phrase, survival of the fittest. At some point in time, that was the model of evolution. Today, Nucleus Genomics, alongside Bryan at the Don't Die Summit, proposes a new model, survival of the curious. It is no longer those who are most strong, have some sort of endurance or physical prowess that are going to survive and live the longest. It is those who are most curious, who go back to the foundational layer of their DNA and unlock the insights so they can live a long and healthy life. So I ask every person in the audience today, lean into your curiosity, unlock your source code. And I know for a fact, there's no one who's leaned more into their curiosity than the man himself, Bryan Johnson. So, on stage today, right now, we are going to be sequencing Bryan's DNA. Bryan, come up here. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Bryan, do you want to talk a little bit about how DNA is the foundation of your health as I set this up for you?
Right. Okay.
Oh, thanks. Perfect. There we go.
Do I need to take my pants off for this?
Yeah, so Bryan, take your pants off, your shirt off. No, I'm just kidding. Bryan, do you want to talk about a little bit how you think genetics shapes all downstream optimizations for health? How do you think about it? I know you're big fanatical on knowing your risks, because then you can optimize everything else about your lifestyle and healthcare.
I definitely want to learn a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
How many of you have had your genome sequenced?
Oh, thanks.
Impressive, like 10%. Okay, here we go.
Small number, actually.
Is this going to hurt?
No, it's not going to hurt. It's actually very simple. So what we're going to do here is we have swabs here. So Bryan and I are going to take out a swab right now. Bryan's going to rub the inside of his left cheek. I'm not going to do it for you, Bryan. You're going to have to do it yourself.
And so I'm going to rub this inside of my cheek, and what is it gathering?
It's gathering DNA. It's gathering cells. So take this swab. Yep, inside your left cheek.
Okay.
Bryan's going to rub the inside of his left cheek inside. Yep. He's going to do that. He's going to twist. Make sure you really get up there. 20 seconds. We're doing this all in the booth. I know some of you already did Nucleus, so you're going to see Bryan now doing it. Okay. Okay, now Bryan, like this. I'm going to put this in a tube.
Okay, I stick it in there.
Stick it in there, and then you're going to go up. I can do it for you.
Okay.
Up, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just basically making sure that all the cells get in there. All right. Okay, perfect.
How many cells are getting in there?
A lot of cells, and hopefully no bacteria or anything that's in your mouth. Which, you know, I imagine you have the cleanest mouth of everyone in this conference, so that shouldn't be a problem, right? Now swab your other cheek, Bryan. One more.
Okay. Uh-oh, I did left and right.
One more. It's okay. It's okay. Just you can do a mix.
Okay.
Whatever cheek you did less. Are we gonna find the longevity gene in here, guys? Come on! We're sequencing a superhuman. What are we going to discover? It's like Jurassic Park, right?
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Let me just go like this. All right. Everyone, Bryan Johnson's DNA. We're going to sequence this. Thanks, Bryan. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I think I'm almost out of time. We have a big booth in the back. I'll be running around like a lunatic this entire conference. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Bye.